All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off, which is formatting money in decimal places. The last slide we did was adjusting cell width, height, bold, and center cells. Now we're on to formatting money in decimal places. So column B is money, right? We're investing $5,000, or at least the Sanchez family is. So I want to make that show up with a dollar sign. I could type a dollar sign in front of it, or I could use this great feature that's already built into spreadsheets, which is this Format as Currency button, the dollar sign button. And I can click on an individual cell and then click that money sign, and now it's $5,000. Or I could click the entire column and press the money sign, and it makes every single number into dollars. Now C, I'm going to go ahead and put it as a percentage. So if I click on column C, I can press this % button. And then when I type in my different percentage rates that we're going to be exploring, it'll automatically put it in as a %. And we're going to be exploring 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. So we can use this fill down feature to follow this pattern. If you remember, when we filled down with this 5,000, we wanted the same number for all of them. So we just clicked on one cell and we dragged down, and everything's 5,000. Here, we wanted to follow a pattern. We wanted to increase by 0.1 every single time. So we've got to highlight enough cells to tell Google Sheets what our pattern is. So I'm going to highlight these two, and notice that my blue square is on the bottom right here. I can drag this down, and here we go. We've got exactly what we wanted. So you always want to highlight enough cells to tell Google Sheets what it is that you want it to do. Now this is a 10-year loan, so we're going to put 10 in here for time, which I completely forgot. So I'm going to insert. I'm going to slow down and show you how I did that. So notice that I forgot a cell. So that's fine. I could delete these columns and retype it, or I can insert a cell in between C and D. So if I click on D and I right click, a menu pops up, and I'm going to insert one left, and I'm going to type in time. So you can do that, or like I said, you could just delete the cells and retype it in, but that's a neat feature, especially if you have a bunch of information types in here. The other thing you can do, especially if you don't have a mouse, it's a little harder. If you put this drop-down menu, if you look, I pressed right here on this down arrow, it'll drop down that menu for you as well. So either way, either press that down arrow or right-click, and then you can choose to insert a column to the left or the right. So I went ahead and I inserted my time, and I want 10 years. So I'm just going to type it in once and use that fill down feature, and there we go. Renaming and coloring sheet tabs. So if you look at the bottom here, notice that I've got this little tab. This is so that I can add multiple sheets if I want to. So right here it says sheet 1, and you can do several things with this tab by clicking on the down arrow next to the name right here. A menu is going to pop up, and you're going to rename the sheet Simple Interest. So if you look here, click on rename, and notice that now this name is highlighted, and I can type in whatever I want. So type in Simple Interest, and then click anywhere on your spreadsheets. Then I'm going to press the down arrow again, because now I want to change the color. And for here, I'm just going to pick any shade of green. I'll choose this one. Now we want to start working with formulas. So one of the biggest initial challenges with creating a spreadsheet is converting a math formula into spreadsheet language. So we're going to start with the formula that we want to use, in this case, simple interest. And so if we remember, our simple interest formula is I equals PRT, where I is interest earned, P is principal, R is interest rate as a decimal, and T is time in years. And then don't forget that the future amount is the principal plus interest. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but if we start typing in these variables, Google Sheets doesn't know what P, R, and T are, and so it's not much help to us. We have to change it into the language of Google Sheets. So how do we do that? So we're going to start with the formula, I equals PRT, but we need to tell Google Sheets what P is, what R is, and what T is. So let's analyze this formula. First we have I, which is for interest rate. So let's say we want to calculate our interest earned. We want to calculate the interest earned for this first row, which is representing a loan at, or an investment at 1.1% interest. So let's go ahead and on E2, this is where we're going to enter the formula. So we want this E2 cell. Remember, they're named by E and 2, the column letter, and the row number. So this is cell E2. This is cell B2, C2, D2. This would be cell D5, etc. So we want this to equal this times this times this. So we want E2 to equal cell B2 times C2 times D2. So this means that in cell E2, we're going to type equals B2 times C2 times D2. We always want to start a formula with the equal sign. So I'm going to go to E2, I'm going to press equals, and I'm going to, a couple different ways we could do this. I could manually type in B2, and notice that that B2 cell is highlighted. I'm going to multiply that, and the multiplication symbol is above the 8. You have to press Shift and 8 to get that multiplication symbol. And then I could type in C2, or I can just click on C2, multiply again, D2, press Enter. And it automatically calculates for me. So right here, if you look here, it says equals B2 times C2 times D2. Here's my formula. And what's great about this is I can drag this down, and it's going to change the formula to adjust for the new row. So if I click here, this is the interest for B3 times C3 times D3. And so it automatically does that for me. I don't have to keep typing this formula in. And if you notice, when you click on the rest, it does the exact same thing. That fill down feature is really, really crucial. Notice that it's already money. I didn't have to go and change this to money because it sees that my calculation is based on money, and so it automatically does it for us, which is fantastic. Last thing, future account balance. Remember that our future account balance is our interest plus our principal. So this is going to equal E2 plus E2. And there we go. And we can drag this down as well. So when I grade this, I'm going to be looking specifically for formulas. So you want to make sure that you're not just typing these numbers in. I'm going to be looking for these formulas. Really, really important that you have the formulas. So make sure in all of these cells here, you have formulas. Last thing for day 1, change the text color and background color. Try this on a couple cells. I don't care about the cells or the colors. Just choose something, show me that you know how to do this. Click anywhere, and I'll expand this. And this paint bucket here is going to fill the cell with whatever color you want. And then to change the text, you're going to click on a cell, and you can change the text color to whatever you want. So go ahead and change a couple cells. And then that is it for day 1 simple interest spreadsheets. So good job. Make sure you have this perfected before you do the compound interest spreadsheets. You do not need to submit yet until you're finished with all 3 days.